such a pleasant evening after all.
Isn't it though? A real fine evening. So how are all of your folks?
We're all pretty well. I was afraid you weren't though. When I looked out my window today and saw Matthew starting off to town, I thought maybe he was off to the doctor.
Oh no, I'm quite well. Although I had a bad headache today. Matthew went to Bright River. We're getting a little boy from the orphan asylum in Nova Scotia, and he's coming in on the train this afternoon.
Are you in earnest, Marilla?
Yes, of course.
What on earth put such a notion in your head?
Well, we've been thinking about it for some time. All winter, in fact. Mrs. Alexander Spencer was here one day before Christmas and said she was going to get a little girl from the orphan asylum over in Hopetown in the spring. Her cousin lives there and she knows all about it. So Matthew and I talked her over and off ever since. We thought we'd get a boy. Matthew is getting on in his years, and he isn't as spry as he once was. His heart troubles him a good deal. You know how desperate heart is to find a kind of heart. So, in the end, we decided to ask Mrs. Spencer to bring us out a likely lad when she went to go get her little girl. We heard that she was going last week, so we sent word for Richard Spencer's folks in Carmody to bring us out a boy of about 10 or 11 years of age. We thought that'd be best. Old enough to help with the chores, but young enough to be trained up properly.
Well, I never.
Today we got a telegram from Mrs. Spencer saying that they're coming on the 5:30 train tonight. So Matthew went to Bright River to meet them.
Well, Marilla, I'll tell you plain that I think you're doing a mighty foolish thing, a risky thing. That's what. You don't know what you're getting. Bring a stranger into your home. You don't know anything about him, or his people, nor his disposition at that. Why, it was only last week I read in the paper how a man and his wife up west of the island took in a little boy from the orphan asylum. And the little demon set fire to your house one night, set on purpose. Those poor, unfortunate souls were nearly burned to a crisp in their beds. If you had asked my advice, which you didn't, I'd say, for mercy's sake, don't even think about such a thing. So don't say I didn't warn you. If Green Gables was burned to its foundation, Green was poison in the well. I heard of a case in New Brunswick where an orphan asylum child did that, and the whole family died in fearful agony. Only with your license.
Well, no worry of that. I would never dream of taking in a girl to bring up.
You came from Mrs. Spencer?
All the way from Hopetown. I wasn't in the least interested on the boat towards Edward Island, although Mrs. Spencer truly was Billy a shade of green.
You're the orphan from the asylum.
You might say that from the asylum, but I've only really been there 4 months. You can't possibly understand what it's like. The asylum people try to be good, though, but there's still no scope of imagination in the asylum.
Well, I can't leave you here, so you better come along with me. Norella will need to sort all this out. The horses till they're out front. Give me the bag.
Oh, I can carry it. It isn't heavy. I've got all my word of goods in it, but it isn't heavy. But if it isn't carried in some way, the handle goes out.
Fine.
I'm not the like even if it would have been nice living a wild year. Isn't it wonderful that I'm going to live with you and belong to you? Am I talking too much? People are always telling me to. I mean, sometimes I never remind you. Although it is difficult.
Oh, you can talk as much as you like. I don't mind.
Isn't it wonderful that I'm going to live with you and belong to you? Mrs. Spencer said on my foot, you must be home in the middle. It isn't. It's really fast at one end.
Matthew Cuthbert, who is this? Where's the boy?
There wasn't any boy. There was only her.
But there must have been a boy. We sent word to Mrs. Spencer to bring a boy.
She didn't. She brought her. I had to bring her. She couldn't be left at the station, no matter what mistake had come in.
Well, this is a pretty piece of business.
You don't want me. You don't want me because I'm not a boy. I'm a plain, skinny girl with hair of the most disastrous red. I might have known that was all too beautiful to last. Oh, what shall I do? I think I'm going to burst into tears.
Well, there's no need to cry about it.
Yes, there is need. You would cry too if you're an orphan and had to come to a place that was going to be your home and found out they didn't want you because you were a boy. Oh, this is the most tragical thing that has ever happened to me.
Well, there's no need to cry about it anymore. We're not going to turn you out of doors tonight. You'll have to stay with us until we investigate this affair. What's your name, child?
Will you please call me Cordelia?
Call you Cordelia. Is that your name?
No, it's not exactly my name, but I would love to be called Cordelia. It's such a perfectly elegant name.
I don't know what on earth you mean. If your name's not Cordelia, what is it?
And Shirley. But oh, please call me Cordelia. If I'm not going to be around here long, how can it matter much what you call me?
Fiddlesticks. Anne is a good, honest, sensible name.
Very well. But if you call me Anne, please call me Anne, spelled with an E.
What difference does it make how it's spelled?
It makes such a difference. It looks so much nicer. A-N-N looks dreadful, but A-N-N-E looks so much more distinguished. If you will only call me Anne, spelled with an E, I shall try to reconcile myself to not being called Cornelia.
All right then, Anne will do. It's clear we're going to have to see Mrs. Spencer to get these matters all cleared up.
If I were very beautiful, with raven hair, would you keep me?
No, we want a boy to help Matthew at the farm. Take off your hat. You must be hungry. Would you like some dinner?
No. Thank you very much, all the same.
You don't want anything to eat?
I can't. I'm in the depths of despair. Can you eat when you're in the depths of despair?
I can't say. Never have been there.
I guess the girl is tired from her trip. Best to put her to bed, don't you think, Marilla?
I suppose it's the room at the top of the stairs in the east room. Good night.
With the knowledge tomorrow I must leave you, Gables. How can you call it good night when you know you speak the very worst night I've ever had?
Well, this is a pretty kettle of fish.
Well, now, she's a real nice little girl. Seems a pity to send her back when she's got her heart on staying here at home.
Matthew Cuthbert, you're not suggesting that we keep her.
Well, now, no, not exactly. I suppose not exactly.
I should say not. What use would she be to us?
You might be of some use to her.
No sense in trying to deny it. I can see it plain as plain. You want to keep her.
She's an interesting child. You sure heard her talk on the drive back.
Oh, she can talk all right. No doubt about that. But I don't want an orphan girl. And even if I did, she's not the style I'd pick out.
I could hire a boy to help with the chores, and she would be good company for you.
I'm not lacking for company very much. Thank you for
I must say, you two are certainly the last two folks I was expecting to see today. But I'm really glad you're here. You'll be safe for tea, won't you? After coming such a long way.
I'll suppose we'll stay a little while to rest the mare.
And how are you today, Karen?
I'm as well as can be expected.
Well, I'll be just a moment. I made some of my special Killerman cake, Marilla. Sounds like some for the tea.
That would be just fine.
Good then. If you'll excuse me, you can just make yourself at home.
You'll enjoy the cake. Mrs. Spencer is one of the best bakers on the island.
I'm quite sure she's a wonderful woman. Her hair is such an attractive color. Did you ever know anyone's hair was red when she was young, or got to be another color when she grew up?
No, I don't know that I ever did. And I don't expect it likely to happen in New York either.
But that is another hope gone. My life was a perfect graveyard of buried hopes. I read that thing in a book once, and I say to comfort myself whenever I'm disappointed in anything.
I can't see where the comforting comes in myself.
Why, because it sounds so nice and romantic. Just like our heroine in the book. I find my life much easier to tolerate if I can imagine a heroine in a novel.
Since you're so fired-bound talking, why don't you talk some purpose by telling me what you know about yourself?
Oh, what I know about myself isn't really worth telling. If you will only let me tell you what I imagine about myself, you'll think ever so much more interesting.
None of your imaginings. Just stick to the ball of that.
If I must, my father and mother were teachers, or church mice, ever so in love. I was born to be bullied people. Mrs. Thomas, a neighbor, said I was the scrawniest, homeliest baby she'd ever seen. And my mother said I grew up to be a great beauty.
I imagine this.
Mother died when I was 3 months old, and father passed on 4 days later. I'm sure it was because he could not bear to be from his one true love, and not because he meant to leave me alone in the world. Anyway, no one wanted me until finally Mrs. Thomas said she'd take me. I lived with parentalized aides and helped take care of the children. She had 4 of them younger. Then Mr. Thomas was killed, and Mrs. Thomas went to live with her sister, but she couldn't take me. Finally, Mrs. Hammond upriver came down so she was a girl who was handing me babies. You see, Mrs. Hammond had 8 children, twins 3 times. Now I love babies in moderation, but 3 sets of twins.
Does seem kind of extreme. The Hammonds good to you?
They meant to be nice people, the Hammonds. But Mr. Hammond drank a great deal, and Mrs. Hammond's temper was short, with that many babies and all. I'm sure that we would have liked to have been.
I see.
When Mr. Hammond was killed in the mill accident, Mrs. Hammond gave the children up to relatives. They wouldn't take me, and she settled for the States. They almost wouldn't take me to the asylum, but they had to, as there was nowhere else for me. Finally, Mrs. Spencer came to bring me to you in Green Gables. You must love it so.
I do. We do. My brother and I have been living there since we were born.
There. That didn't take too long. Now, Marilla, what did you want to say?
Well, the fact is, Mrs. Spencer, there's been a mistake made, and I've come over to see you. We actually sent word to you that we wanted a boy.
Marilla, you don't say so. I got word from my cousin whose daughter that it was to be a girl.
No, unfortunately not. A boy of about 10 or 11 years of age.
Oh, Marilla, I'm so sorry. I did the best I could, and I thought I was following instructions.
Well, we should have spoken to you directly, so I guess we're much at fault. I suppose the sound will take her back, won't they?
I suppose, but that might not be necessary. Mrs. Book was up there the other day, and when she told the girl about that for you, she said what a smart idea it was, and how she can use a girl to help her work on the house. She has that large family, you know, and the children know her so. I call this a wonderful stroke of luck.
I suppose, but...
And more the portrait. There she is coming up the walk now. Come in, Mrs. Blewett.
Don't mind if I do. I've been talking to the minister, and he says I can take on the girl as long as she's civil and don't eat much.
How wonderful, you see. Comfort is actually one of your boys. So this girl might just be a thing for you.
What's her name? Anna. How old are you?
And Shirley. And I'm 12.
Turn around. That doesn't look like there's much to you, but you're wiry. Wiry ones are the best. Work the hardest and eat the least. If I take you on, you have to be good and smart and respectful. Mr. Blewett keeps a special strap for young ones who need to learn a little respect. I expect you to earn your keep. And make no mistake about that. Mrs. couple. I'm glad to take her off your hands. The baby's been awfully colicky lately. It'd be nice to sleep through the night so I don't have to tend to that brat and someone else can.
Well,
Yes, I believe I'll take her right now. Thank you.
well, I don't know. Matthew and I haven't actually decided what to do. We just came by to see the mistake had been made. I'd better take her home and talk it over with my brother. I oughtn't decide anything without consulting him. If we decide not to keep her, Mrs. Blewett, I can simply bring her back tomorrow. Will that suit you?
I suppose it would have to.
Come along, Anne.
Marilla, is this mean?
Hush your mouth, child.
Oh, Marilla, oh, well, you care for some tea, Mrs. Blewett?
Don't mind if I do.
Where's the girl?
Down in the garden, said she wanted to hold division of the garden at sunset, in case she has to leave in the morning. She won't have to, will she?
It's foolishness, Massey. Plain and simple foolishness. And you know it. Why that child was talking ear after stock corn? And her fantasies? Did you know she's giving names to all the flowers like Bonnie and Snowy and like the... I just don't know.
You know how I feel. She's an interesting one, that's for sure.
I'm ready for bed now.
It was glorifying. Sun and arbors.
Aren't you going to say your prayers, child?
I've never done it before. What should I say?
You're old enough to say your prayers, Anne. Just give thanks for your blessings and humbly ask for the things that you want.
Well, I'll do my best. Oh, gracious Heavenly Father. That's the way the ministers say it at church. So suppose it's all right for a private prayer. I thank thee for Bonnie and Snowball, and Rosalie the Sorrel Mare, and Prince Edward Adam and Marilla. I'm extremely grateful for them. As for things I want, they'll take a great deal of time to name. I don't want something to tiresome, so I'll only mention the two most important. Please let me say it for you, and please let me be good looking. I will. I remain respectfully yours, Anne Shirley. There. Should I go right?
Yes, you did just fine, Aunt Shirley. I'm sure you took note of every word. Well, we can't get through this world with our fair share of trouble. I've had a pretty easy life so far, but I think my time has come, and I better make the best of it. So you can stay here if you prove yourself a good and grateful girl, and
Oh, I will, Miss Cuthbert. I will.
plain Marilla would do just fine.
Whoever says a lady never swears. Oh no, not that. There are two kinds of them.
Oh, I've never heard of the one kind. And the minister says that doing it will send you straight to...
No, I'd never do that. My kind simply means vow eternally to someone.
Oh, I can do that. How do you do it?
You must join him in the sun. It ought to be over in water. We'll just imagine this Catholic book. I'll repeat the oath first. I solemnly swear to be faithful to my bosom friend, Diana Barry, for as long as the sun and the moon shall live. Now you say it with my name.
Very well. I solemnly swear to be bosom friends with Anne Shirley for as long as the sun and the moon shall endure. You're an odd girl, and I heard that about you. Still, I think I don't like you very much.
Whoa! Would you look at the hair on that one? That looks like she's got too much hair hanging up from under her hat. Oh, why do you care about it?
You'll forgive it back, that's Anne's.
Oh, so that's her name. Look, everybody! I'm Anne.
skinny and homely, Marilla. And have you seen such freckles? Lawful heart, and that hair is red as carrots.
I hate you! I hate you! I hate you! How dare you call me skinny ugly? How dare you say I'm freckled and redheaded? You are a rude, impolite, unfeeling woman! And how would you have such things said about you? How would you be told that you're old and clumsy and probably have a spark of imagination? I don't care if I do hurt your feelings or you hurt mine, even worse than Mrs. Hammond's drunken husband ever did. I will never forgive you for it!
My, I've never seen such a temper. I don't envy your job bringing that up, Marilla.
You should have tweeted about her looks, Rachel.
Then that terrible display of temper we just saw.
No, I'm not excusing her. She's been very uncivil. And I have to give her a good talking to. But you were too hard on her.
I see now that I have to be more careful with what I say because the feelings from goodness knows where have to be considered with everything else. If it were me, I'd give her a talking to, a 2-foot burst switch. Her hair matches her temper. I'll be taking my leave right now.
Please don't go yet, Rachel. Please give me a moment to speak with her. I'm sure she realizes the error of her way.
I'll sit for a moment. Out of respect for our friendship, Marilla. But I really don't expect you can change a spot on that hellcat with a few well-thought words.
And get off that bed this minute and listen to what I have to say with you. Aren't you ashamed of yourself?
She had no right to call me skinny and redheaded.
You say it often enough yourself.
Oh, there's a difference between saying something yourself and hearing other people say it.
Well, you made a fine exhibition of yourself. And knowing Rachel, it will be all over town by evening.
I couldn't help it. Something just rose up in me and my temper got the better of me.
Well, now it's time to go down and swallow this coat. You must apologize.
But what she said was mean and hurtful.
Now, I don't think Mrs. Lynn was exactly right in saying what she did. She can be a child for herself. But she is your elder and the guest in our home. So you must apologize.
Oh, Marilla, must I really?
Absolutely.
Oh, Mrs. Lynn, I'm so extremely sorry. I've disgraced dear friends, Matt and Marilla, who let me stay in Gables, even though I'm a boy. I'm a dreadful, wicked girl who deserves to be cast out of respect forever. It's true. I am skinny, and my hair is red. What is it to you is true, too, but I shouldn't have said it. Oh, Mrs. Lynn, please forgive me. If you're a lifelong sorrow, or an orphan, you could take an orphan child. You had to. Please, Mrs. Lynn, please, you'll forgive me.
There, child. Get up. Of course, I forgive you.
Bless you, Mrs. Lynn. May I put Diana now?
Go ahead.
Thank you.
She's an odd little thing. Has a certain flair in mine, but then again, so do I. On the whole, I believe I like the girl.
But thank you, Rachel.
Why I would love it if you came over to my house right now and tried the new preserves I just put up.
That is very generous of you, Rachel.
Oh, Marilla, I hope it's agreeable with you that I'm at Diana's tea this afternoon. We have been true bosom friends now for more than a year. They're just each other's summer. We'll keep everything good and won't be anybody. Please.
Tea? Well, yes. I suppose it's fine. You are growing up after all.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'll search your room right now.
And I must run an errand now. So for your tea with Diana, you can open the little yellow crock of cherry preserves, cut up some fruitcake, and have some of those cookies I made last evening.
Of course, Marilla.
And there's half a bottle of raspberry cordial left over from the church social. You may have a little of that. It's in the pantry on the second shelf in the crafting pitcher next to the glass decanter of currant wine. For heaven's sake, please don't tell me that you get those two mixed up. The last thing I need is the two of you getting all liquored up.
Glass decanter. Yes, Marilla.
Good afternoon, Diana.
Thank you, Miss Hubbard. My mother sent some cards and says she'll soon see you when she comes by there to pick me up.
Please send her my best, if we miss each other.
Good afternoon, Miss Shirley.
Good afternoon to you, Miss Barry. Welcome. May I offer you some tea?
Why, yes. And this all looks wonderful.
I would like everything to be perfect for my true bosom friend. Really, even if we have some. Oh my goodness, I forgot the cordial. Marilla makes some wonderful cordial, like fruit juice, but ever so much sweeter. May I tell you something?
With my sweet tooth, need you ask?
Drink your fill then. May I offer you some cookies? Marilla made them last night. She's such a wonderful cook. She's going to teach me, but it's up to work. There's so much scope for imagination in cookery. Did I tell you what happened last Sunday? The minister was invited to dinner. Marilla thought it would be a nice gesture if we had the minister over for lunch after the Sunday service. Marilla asked me to put pudding sauce outside on the porch to keep it cool and to be sure to cover the top. Now I meant to cover as much as could be, but I had just finished reading Crimson Blade.
That was so romantic. I just couldn't put it down. I wish I could be waiting my girl.
Exactly! I know a kindred soul like you would understand. That is exactly it. More cordial?
Yes, please. It's just delicious.
I was very busy. Imagine the suffering poor Lady Morgan locked in the tower until her rescue on a dashing rain, covering pudding sauce pails in her hairs. The next day, Marilla asked for inspection of the police. I discovered, to my extreme horror, that a mouse had drowned in it. I lifted his body up to the spoon. Imagine how puzzling my drowned pudding sauce. And for that, I washed the spoon thoroughly 5 times. Marilla was out milking, and I meant to tell her, but then I got involved in pretending to be a frostberry, turning the trees red and yellow.
Have you a little more cordial?
I'm still very warm.
You're warm? I'm very warm.
I'm quite comfortable, actually. Then we were off to church and back, and the ministry was here, and we were all enjoying lunch. And the next thing I knew, Marilla is walking out with plum pudding in one hand and a pitcher of warmed-up plum pudding sauce in the other. Diana, that was a terrible moment.
Oh, man, I can't imagine.
So Marilla cut a large slice of the pastry and covered it with tainted sauce. I wrestled my conscience. She raised the fork to his mouth, and I left him my place and shrieked, "Ah! You mustn't eat that! My mouse is down in the pudding sauce!"
Ooh, and I don't think I feel so well. The room is starting to spin. I think I better go home.
But you haven't had your tea yet.
My chair is spinning? I think my chair is spinning. Is my chair spinning?
Oh, Diana, do you suppose it's possible you've caught smallpox? If you have, I'll gladly nurse you back to health.
The floor tipping. Why is the floor tipping? I think I better go home now.
My daughter was dressed. Girls?
Mother.
Diana? Diana Barry! Liquor? Aunt Shirley, you're responsible for this. I've known all along that you're a thoroughly bad, wicked girl, and I should never put my Diana in the crate with you again.
But,
Come on, Diana.
oh, Marilla, I made a mess of everything.
now take a 15-minute intermission.
Well, I must say, I would have never believed it. If they would have told me 3 months ago that the two biggest chatterboxes in the whole planet, I would have laughed out loud. That's 12 weeks of not having to listen to YouTube Gables. 90 days of blissful silence. I'm broken by 4 girls gone. And now let's see, if I broke it down to hours,
Gilbert Blake, you are a hard person because no one is a true friend. Even though both Norman tried to prevent his security, he was relentless. And now, my one true friend and I may not visit, play, or talk.
remind me to take the third when I'm too quiet.
I fear, Gilbert Blake, that you will never change. And it is as if I can explain all this to you as poetry to a page. My dearest Anne, I miss often telling you my secrets in times we shared. I made you a red paper book. When you look at it, remember me. My own Diana, I shall keep your lovely present forever as a token of the friendship we have lost or shall ever find again. I can think of Sally Andrews, but she has sorry little imagination. And after being more of a friend, I really can't propose. Please excuse any mistakes in myself. Yours until death do us part. And, or Cordelia, Shirley.
Good morning, class.
Good morning, Miss Stacy.
I placed today's assignments on the board. Upper classes will be studying dress codes. Lower levels, please read at your homework. And whoever sent the Queen's College preparation, run your Latin declensions. But before we get started, I have an announcement to make. The school board has decided that we are going to have a benefit concert at the White Sands Hotel. We need repairs for the school roof, desperately need repairs. The girls' choir will perform, and they asked for someone to recite. I've chosen Anne Shirley.
Oh, Miss Stacy, honor you. This was really good acting right now. Imagine people paying to hear Anne Shirley talk.
Just think of it. The chorus is going to perform patriotic songs, and a few of the girls will use them happily, faith, hope, and charity. I would have liked to have been happy, because Diana is going to be charity. Several of the house will up the chorus as well. You should have liked to go to Lorella. After all, it is for a good cause.
Now that would be just like me dancing around with flowers in my hair.
I'll pay to see it.
No doubt the whole town would pay to see it.
I was thinking, as I have to get up with her the whole of that week. All of them were looking at me. I was wondering if perhaps I might have a new dress. One with puff sleeves. They're ever so fashionable now. Please, Lord.
Well, you'll have to do without your thing. We haven't any material left over for a custody. I think they're ridiculous looking thing. I prefer plain, sensible stuff.
I'd rather look ridiculous with everyone else. Plain and sensible all by myself.
Your dresses are fine frocks with plenty of wear left in them. Suppose we can get a new set of hair ribbons to brighten up the outfit?
Whatever you wish, Marilla.
She's right, you know.
Matthew Cuthbert, when we took this challenge, we agreed that I would be in charge of your effort. I don't suppose I've done too bad so far, and I think I can get along fine without your interference.
But she doesn't look like the other girls. I've watched her walk home with the others, and it seems to me that all their dresses are all bright and cheery. And it looks so plain and sober. Surely there could be no harm in one fashionable dress.
It will only contribute to her advantage, Matthew.
Just one dress.
And dresses are fine.
Well, I would like to have you any say now gardening breaks?
In the middle of February?
Yes.
I believe I may have one or two left over in one. I can go and check.
Good evening, Mr. Cuthbert.
Evening, ma'am.
Take a looking back. I got like one garden break. But will there be anything else this evening?
Well, now, since you suggested, I might as well take that look at buy some hayseed.
We only keep making in the break. We have none on hand.
Oh, certainly, just as you say.
Will that be on it?
No, you see, I would like to, you see, I need some sugar.
Quite a wrap.
I don't know, Marilla usually takes care of all that.
So what you making? Will you use a cake?
No, I don't think so. I mean,
There, bread.
no, you see, actually,
Oh, it's nice. Did you taste those cookies that Marilla made for the tea social last week? She said she cut a pound of butter.
Weren't they wonderful? They're as light as air. I ate them.
I asked her for the recipe. She wouldn't give it to me. You know how Marilla is about the recipes.
Well, if it's cookies for me, she'll need brown sugar. How many pounds?
a dress.
Excuse me?
It's the dress over there. I wanted to buy a dress for Anne with puffs and
Of course that's what you wanted. Why, that will look lovely on your hand. The color will be very flattering for her bright hair. I'll get it down and wrap it up for you.
Oh, that'll be much obliged if you would. And his hairs, I don't believe I would do this way. progress. Rapid progress were the very words.
Matthew Cuthbert, if you don't hurry and harness that mare, we're going to be late. It's not every day that the premier comes to Prince Edward Island.
Can't say I understand the whole person though. You think the king himself was coming to be folks around here talking about it? All in Avonlea will be over in Carmichael tonight, that's for sure.
All of us if we don't hurry. I promised Rachel Lynn that we would pick her up on the way there. And you know she complained when she's late. And I left your dinner warming in the oven. And I want to lay it out soon after. No reading in bed till hours just because I'm not here today.
Yes, Marilla. Have a good time. Please try to know everything in detail. Because I want to hear everything in the morning.
I'm sure you will. Come, Matthew.
Good night, Anne.
Good night. The jealous rival. Geraldine Seymour was a regal brunette, coronet and midnight hair, and dusky flushes. Her best friend Miranda was a queen blonde, with hair stone gold and velvety purple eyes beneath an alabaster brow. The two grew to be side by side until they were 16. The year of Bertram DeVere came to their peaceful conclusion.
Did you forget your pipe again?
I haven't quite taken the new pipe yet.
Good evening, Gilbert.
But Dick asked me to think about the geometry deck from apprentice today.
And of course you finished it while I'm still muddling along. Thank you for reminding me.
Can I offer my help? I'd like to stay. And
No. Thank you kindly, Gilbert Blood, but I'll manage just fine without any help from you. You're just gloating because you had your name on the board today for having the highest marks in math. Well, let me tell you,
Diana, whatever's the matter? Has your mother been lifted at last?
My little sister Minnie Mae is awfully sick. She's got croup. The poor thing can hardly breathe. Mother and father are away at Carmichael for the meeting, and there's nobody to go for the doctor. Oh, Anne, I'm so scared. I don't know what to do.
oh no, I'll take my help and get it off the car.
no. Be sure to meet Carmichael and everyone else. Go straight there to the town hall. I'll go with Diana.
Please come with me, Anne. I don't know what to do.
Don't cry, Diana. I know exactly what you're thinking. You forget that this is happening for Joseph's house. We don't have to think of things. Soon naturally gain a lot of experience. They all have croup regularly. Tell them to take the ipecac elixir. You may not have it in your house. Now boil up some water. That should have been the first thing. I'll check them next. It's croup all right. Seems pretty bad when I was in the woods. I'm going to get her a cold dose of ipecac first. Try and bring up some of the blood. And some products for the woods.
Why, Daisy, where is she?
Sleeping sound now in bed. I was very near giving up in despair. She got worse and worse until she was sicker than any of the Hamlin twins ever were. I actually thought she'd choked to death. When I gave her the last dose in the bottle, I thought to myself. I didn't say it out loud, for you were worried enough, Diana. I thought, this is the last lingering hope. I feared it was a vain thing. But the next thing I knew, she started coughing up the phlegm, and within minutes was resting comfortably.
Anne knew everything to do.
Dr. Blythe should be here anymore. He was right behind us. But it looks like we got in a situation well in hand.
You managed just fine, Anne.
Excuse me, but she woke up and told me everything. Oh, Anne, what can I say to you? You saved my baby. I'm so very ashamed of the way I treated you. And now you know you could never have to be my dad again. Please forgive me. There's no one I can thank you enough.
The thing should really go to Mrs. Hamlin, her ability with all those twins. it's locked forever. She knows she will never see me. She's the one true love of her life. So she gets into her barge, kills herself, and allows the river to carry her body back to Camelot. Her beloved.
That might be romantic, but I know I can never do that. I keep popping up every few seconds to check where I was and see that I haven't figured it out so far. Now, if anyone's going to portray the better lane, it should be you.
Of course, it's so ridiculous to have a redhead be Elaine. She's supposed to be fair, long, golden hair streaming down. It's quite hopeless. A redheaded person's cannot spoil it. And yet, better than a fidget, I guess.
No, and your hair isn't quite as bright now as it once was. It could pass for an auburn now in some lights.
Thank you. Now you must pretend to be my faithful servant and friend. You push off the boat and walk from the shore.
I brought him a black shawl as you asked.
Perfect. Now cover me with a shawl. Should I cross my arms or
Cross looks much more dead.
fine? Then cross it is. Oh, I almost forgot my lily. You can push off now, Diana. Do you remember your part?
Of course. Farewell, Millie. Oh, and you look wonderful.
Diana, it's so exciting. I feel so sentimental. I feel so noble. I feel so wet. Wet! Diana! The boat has swum a large lake. I can't swim. Help! Where are the oars?
You just said you wanted to float. You didn't say you wanted to row, so I left the oars back at the barn.
The barn? No, Diana. Help!
I can't swim. My mother didn't let me. She said it caused influenza. Oh, and what shall I do? They killed my best friend.
Run from Matthew. He's in the lower pasture. Hurry!
I don't want to leave you. Oh, and
Now, Diana, run. A moment later, and it may be too late.
oh, and help, help! Annie's drowning. Almost, Matthew, help!
Elaine never had this problem. There's a high price to be paid for drama. That's for sure. Help! Mrs. Barry's shawl. It's bad enough for boat to scuttle without losing her Sunday shawl. Help! Someone please, help! Dear God, I don't believe in flowery prayers, but just get this boat over to those pilots and I'll do the rest. Thank you. Purpose takes strange forms. Where does the man become? What if Diana Page and friends on her way to him? What if he has to go all the way to Avonlea to borrow a boat? What if the horse was to show on the way back? I might grow faint from hunger and exhaustion, clinging desperately to my small perch. As the night comes, my eyes grow weary until I can stand it no longer. I slip at last to the wicked depths below. Merlin's right. A little imagination is more than enough.
Good afternoon, Aunt Shirley.
Gilbert,
Pleasant dinner habits, don't you think?
unseasonably warm this time of year, I would say.
Would you like to tell me what happened?
If you must know, we were acting a poem, and I was supposed to be the Lady Elaine, floating down to Camelot in my fourth barge, but the rowboats took a large leak, and I had to climb up on the planets.
Can I ask for help?
Diana went from that.
Fine then.
But she has been gone an awful long time, so maybe, if you wouldn't mind.
Certainly.
I'm very much obliged to you, Gilbert.
Look here. Can we be friends? I'm awfully sorry we couldn't hear that time. I didn't mean to vex you. It was all so long ago. Besides, I think your hair is awfully pretty now. I do. Can't you forgive me? Can we be friends?
No, I should never be friends with you, Gilbert Blake, and I don't think I ever want to.
All right, all right. I should never ask to be friends again, Miss Shirley. And I don't care either.
I told you, Cal, that she wouldn't be dead. No need to worry, so.
Oh, and I thought I was a murderer because I made you be a lame. Did you ever see such a watery grave?
I climbed onto the pilots, and Gilbert came along in his rowboat and brought me to land.
How splendid you look. Of course, I have to speak
Romance isn't that easy. It's kind of like the water in the boat. A tiny opening and then suddenly you're in over your head.
I turned around in the very small and swore a little life.
Suit yourself. We should have gone, you know.
I had no intention of staying at the White Sands Hotel just to hear Josie Pye play one more song. I swear the child only knows 3 songs and plays each left equally bad.
Still, it would have been nice to hear Anne's recitation. I told her the crowd would serve to call for an encore.
How you do go on with her. She'll end up in Maine as one of those silly city girls who stay at the White Sands each summer. All white lace and bananas. Speaking of which, that dress, matching with her, you shouldn't have.
Maybe not, but I did. And she sure looked the sight of it. So pretty.
She probably got it all messed up riding over here in the dress with you. There's no point in saying anything to you when you get your mind set on something. Is there? You didn't ask my opinion on the dress, so I can't see you listening to it now.
She looked lovely, didn't she though?
I suppose.
Is she back yet? Oh, Marilla, that group was wonderful and splendid. The audience loved her.
I knew it!
The whole audience said one and cheered her on. I could hardly clap. I was crying so. She was so poised and not all nervous. She held the audience enthralled. And when it was over, they all rose calling, encore, encore. I've never seen anything like it before. The audience just loved her.
Where is she?
Miss Stacy's giving her right back.
Marilla, that interview was splendid, simply splendid. Where there was another on the program who could talk her. I always said she was a remarkable child.
So you did, Rachel. Would you care for some tea?
I like that. There's far too much rich food at the White Sands Hotel. It causes indigestion.
Diana, won't you join us too?
I love some tea, Miss Covered, and some of your cake if you have any left.
I'm sure we can find some for you.
Oh, Matthew, Marilla, has there ever been such a night? There was a professional actress staying at the White Sands, and she performed first. After she was finished with her presentation, I just sat with my head in my hands, for I knew I could never hope to equal her. Then they called my name, and
She was remarkable. Remarkable. You should be so proud.
We are. Could you do it once more, Anne? I'd like to hear it for myself.
I'd be glad to, Matthew. The life may be unfair to me, and hard along the way, though troubles may be many, and skies above me gray. I do not threaten ruin, this matters not to me, for I shall find warm comfort in my friends who thank me. I do not seek great riches, for fortunes can be lost. I do not need possessions that come at princely cost. There's only one thing that I wish, on earth or above, to be worthy of the people who have given me their love.
You are a wonder, Anne Shirley, a wonder.
Time enough for that later. This calls for a celebration. Let's go to the parlor. Currant wine for the adults and cherry cordial for the kids. girl you used to be. And I wish you could still stay a little girl, even with your round legs. You're growing up now, and before I know it, you're going to be going off away to school. You look so grown up and altogether different in that dress, as if you didn't belong in Avonlea at all. I just couldn't help thinking of what my life could have been without you.
Marilla, I haven't changed a bit. Not really. I'm only pruned down and branched out a bit. The real me inside is just the same. Doesn't matter where I go or how much I change outwardly. At heart, I shall always be your little Amy, who will love you and Matthew and dear Green Gables more and better every day of my life.
I guess you have been too much loyal.
Oh, Anne, you were the most dearest mistake that's ever come into my life. And I just don't know how I can love you more. Where are your manners, Brooke? We have company waiting.
Thank you all for coming to Archangel's production of Anne of Green Gables. Before I introduce you to our amazingly talented, bright, creative cast and crew, I'd like to thank four people in particular. First and foremost, Mrs. Valentini, who gave the green light on this project in the first place. Secondly, I'd like to thank the co-director, Mrs. Giesler. Daniela Woodward, if she's back there, please come out. Actually, it's 5 people because Mr. Terry's sitting out there, but Mrs. Terry, please. Without these two ladies, this would not have been done. I have never seen such generous, selfless people in my life. I want to thank all of the parents who transported their children and grandchildren from rehearsals, the parents who also donated costumes. This woman actually, not only did she make costumes, she upholstered furniture. Don't even ask. That the boat was two-sided, so one side looked like it was Anne's boat, and then the other side looked like it was Gilbert's boat. I'm still trying to wrap my mind around how they even thought of that. The pilings, costumes, refreshments, script, paint, what else? I mean, these people did, I'll be thinking about this in 10 years and thanking God, having gratitude for the love I have experienced or received from these three wonderful people. Now to the incredible cast. Mrs. Spencer, as well as Mrs. Barry, Ariel Greenlaw. Giancarlo Cruz Benagas. Rachel Lynn. Elise Donaldson. I still can't wrap my mind around this, but Marilla Cuthbert, Zena Sotomayor Salas, Ella Ward, Dash Woodward. And Shirley, played by Hannah Terry. Abigail Davis and Austin Garcia is not here, but stage manager Xavier Rex is.